Hello and welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mamani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 1st April 2020. Day is Wednesday. I would like to start today's discussion with this poem. Happy the man and happy be alone, he who can call today his own. He who secure within can say, tomorrow do thy worst, for I have lived today. This particular poem is about today. It's about the present moment. If you go through news channels, if you go through newspapers, you will see and read things that are associated with coronavirus. Negativity is all around us. I'm not saying that coronavirus is not real. It is real, and we are doing everything that is possible. When I say we, I'm talking about humanity. Governments are engaged in eradicating this coronavirus, medical personnel, police personnel. There are other volunteers who are working and contributing, and people are contributing their money and everything. Those people who are staying indoors are doing a big thing as well. So the best thing that we can do is to get rid of this worry and to focus on our present moment. We live in moments. We have to understand this thing. And this is not a philosophical thing, right? This is one of the most practical thing. You cannot do anything about yesterday, and you don't know what your tomorrow is going to bring. So the best thing is to give our 100% to our today, to our present moment. And this is particularly important for students who are at present, you are indoors, right? So one of the worst features about worrying, the reason why I have started today's discussion with this poem of Horace is because so many people are, worried about tomorrow, what will happen tomorrow. I'm not sure as well. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but I know one thing that we have this today, we have this present moment with us. So let's make the most out of this present moment. And one of the worst features about worrying is that it destroys our ability to concentrate. So make sure that you give your best to your present moment. Study, educate, right? Read good books, do exercise, meditate, utilize your time, because this will not come back again. So make the most out of it. With this, dear friends, we have, and one more important fact that I would like to share with you is that Horace was a famous Roman poet, and it is believed that this poem is 30 years older than Jesus Christ. So this poem it is believed that it was written 2050 years ago. It's not a latest poem. This is a very old poem, but it is relevant today as well. With this, we have many interesting articles on our table. We'll start our discussion with this editorial. Step Up. It is about coronavirus. It is talking about that a particular Jamaat as well, a community that was in news yesterday. Then we will learn few things from this particular article, beyond social distancing to fight COVID-19. And then I'm going to explain few points that are relevant that we can borrow from this article. So this is going to be our first one, second one, and third one. Fourth one is going to be this one, weaker later. This one is about Olympics. Olympic event is delayed, isn't it? So we are going to talk about it, and here you find some facts about the history of Olympics, like the years in which it was cancelled, and Munich and other incidents. The last one is, then we are going to talk about this one, and each on containment and welfare. This article is written by Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Predominantly he's speaking about the steps that are taken by his government, but we are going to go through it very quickly. Few important points here. The cost of a cure for COVID-19. This one is talking about a particular law in USA, and we are going to talk about medicine. Just in case if a new medicine is invented and innovated, then can we use it? What about patent laws and other things? So we have a particular law in our country as well associated with this sort of medicines. And let me give you brief about this article, a pandemic in an unequal India. Now, if you go through this article, if you have extra time, then I reckon you guys to have a quick glance over this article. Now, this article is talking about the impact of this coronavirus, this impact of lockdown on poor people. We know that they are the most vulnerable. So quite logically, they are going to be the most affected. And so the best thing that we can do is, for time being, make sure that we provide them shelter, we provide them food, we provide them medicines if they need any. And once all these things are over, we have to make sure that we support them for at least few months. It's not going to be enough, but there should be financial as well as this food support should be provided to the most vulnerable section of our society. And this is not the first time that we are talking about this thing, isn't it? We have already talked about this thing earlier on as well. So if you have extra time, go through this article, or else I have given you a main core theme of this article. Now, before we move ahead, dear friends, if you want to prepare for various different competitive exams without leaving your home, if you want to prepare in the comfort of your house, then you can purchase our pen drive and tablet courses. All information associated with our pen drive and tablet courses is available on our website, that is StudyIQ.com. To download the PDF of today's lecture, please check out my Telegram channel. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. If you have learned something from today's discussion, please don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. With any big crisis comes great responsibility, and this is right as well. We all are responsible, and we all have to play a very important role in controlling or in taming this coronavirus, and in fact in eradicating this coronavirus. Now, police personnel, they are doing their duties. Medical personnel, they are doing their duties. Government is providing food, medical supplies and other things. It is creating hospitals, providing funds, leadership and so many things. Volunteers, they are contributing. There are people who are contributing money, and we should also appreciate all those people. There are so many people, they cannot contribute money or food because they don't have that much. But it's okay. The best thing that they are doing is they are staying indoors. They are not going out, right? They are staying indoors, and they are praying, and they are doing, by staying indoors as well, you are playing your part. So every one of us, we have to understand this thing, that we are going through extraordinary circumstances, and we have to play our part, and it is our responsibility. In fact, a great responsibility is on our shoulder, on individuals' shoulder, starting from the top pyramid of government to individual, right? If we talk about our country, or you can take this pyramid as in terms of globe, as in terms of our world as well, like every country and every single individual, right? Every one of us, we have to play our part to control this coronavirus, right? We have applied this Epidemic Diseases Act as well, and reasonable restrictions are applied on our citizens' rights, and this is important as well, because if you stay too liberal, then people are going to misuse this liberty. Now, every individual must respond responsibly during this time, and this article is talking about those people who have their travel history. Now, we have some good Samaritans who came forward, and they informed the authorities about their travel histories, but there are few people as well, and it is very sad that they have not shared their, they have hidden their travel history, and they are infecting other people as well. Now, why they have hidden this thing? Of course, the most logical thing, I think, is fear, right? They are afraid. So this can be one of the reason, right? But it is very sad. They should inform. Even today, if they know that they have this coronavirus thing, and if they have travel history, then they should inform the government so that we can protect other lives as well. Now, in yesterday's news channels, and one of my colleague has made a special video on this Tablighi Jamaat yesterday. So Tablighi Jamaat was in news. Tablighi Jamaat conference took place in an area of Delhi called Nizamuddin. Nizamuddin is an area in Delhi, and Tablighi Jamaat conference took place. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this thing, but you find this picture on the first page of today's newspaper, the Hindu newspaper, and other newspapers as well. This video footage was going on yesterday throughout the day This was the biggest news item, and it is said that the people who were part of this Tablighi Jamaat, they are, they are responsible, or they can, they have in fact, been one of the main reason in spreading this coronavirus in different parts of our country. Now, we should be very careful here. We are not blaming any particular community. We are not saying that Muslims are doing this thing. What I'm saying is Tablighi Jamaat is basically a sort of organization, right? It's an Islamic organization, but we are not saying that every Muslim is doing this thing. What I'm saying is this people, the members of this Tablighi Jamaat, they were aware about this lockdown. Then as well, they were here. They were aware about this thing, and there is a 6-story building, and there were like 1,400 plus people were living here. Can you believe this thing? They were clearly told, means every one of us are aware about this thing, that our country is in a lockdown state. Then they should have, played their part, and it is very irresponsible of these people that they have not played their part. If we go through news items, then we find that at least 24 of these occupants have been tested positive of this novel coronavirus. And can you imagine, like, so many people from this particular organization, they have now traveled to various different parts of our country. And, 400 people with symptoms were admitted to different hospitals. 1,100 were shifted to government-run quarantine facilities. So they are adding more burden. This sort of irresponsible behavior is not acceptable, right? This is very sad. And I'm saying I'm not blaming any particular community. I'm talking about this organization alone, right? Now, unfortunately, this organization is associated with religion. So many people will give them this religious color. But that is very sad. Delhi police on Tuesday registered a case against Maulana Saad and other Tablighi Jamaat leaders, and Section 3 of Epidemic Disease Act 1897 with IPC Acts or sections of 269, 270, 271, 120B has been applied on them. Now, I would like to add one more thing here. I was going through my messages, and I found one message from one of my childhood friend. We were in school together, and we used to get along with each other very well. Unfortunately, we haven't met for a very long period of time. But he sent me this, a snap or a picture of a book that he is reading, a book by Robin Sharma. I don't know the name of that book, but that book was talking about, that page was talking about this calamities or this challenges, right, that we face individually as well. If you go through your life, then you will realize that whenever we fail, whenever we go through some hard times, we learn so many things. This hard time crafts our personality, isn't it? And the same applies for humanity as well. We are going through a very rough phase, right? Coronavirus is a big challenge for humanity. But we should not let ourselves turn negative. This is not an option for us. This is certainly an option. This is not an option. This is something that we can learn how to cooperate. We can learn how to, we are going through challenges. So you see this news items like various different presidents and various different leaders are declaring this thing that we have created this big hospital in this short period of time. Medical personnel these companies are producing medicines, and there are self-help groups that are producing masks and so many things. So we are achieving extraordinary things in a very short period of time. This is like we are on full throttle. So we are going to learn so many things from it. So we should take this whole thing positive. We don't have any option. By staying negative, by worrying about things, by blaming some particular religion or blaming some people, it's not going to help solve our problem. Of course, we should learn from our mistake, and we should make sure that we don't find this sort of thing, because we have to trace this old people, all of them who were here. We have to trace them, and we have to trace all those people who met other people. So it's going to be a very Herculean task, and we cannot afford to lose our energy in this sort of things. But we should make sure that in future we don't say this sort of things. And this is not just about this particular organization. Something similar is also visible, or it was visible. We have some good examples, as you can see here. It's an example of South Korea. Now, in South Korea, you have a religious cult, right? They have this particular cult, and they have their cult members. Some of them are living in Wuhan, and most of them are in South Korea. So people from Wuhan, they travel to South Korea. Their main aim was not to spread this disease. Their main aim was to attend those gatherings, right? And they were like normally, right? We travel to various different places for business, for learning something, for training, for job, for religious purpose, etc. Right? So they were doing the same thing like every normal human beings. That's what we do in normal times, right? So these people were traveling. They were like frequent travelers, and they were not aware that they are spreading this coronavirus in parts of South Korea. Same thing happened in Iran as well. In Iran, Iran is going through this sanctions for a very long period of time. So Iran and China's relationship has flourished in recent past. The reliance of Iran on China has increased. So there are thousands of people, Chinese people, who are living in Iran, and there are thousands of Iranian people who are living in China. So after this coronavirus thing, lots of Iranian people were going back home, and they brought with them this, coronavirus. And in Iran, you have this famous city, Qum. Qum is very famous for this pilgrimage, and it's a religious holy site. So thousands of people, they do visit this Qum city. They used to visit, of course. Now there is a sort of lockdown going on over there, as far as I know. But, this is one of the main reasons. So it's not just about religion, right? We have our own example in our country. Remember that famous singer, Kanika Kapoor? I think her name is Kanika Kapoor. And she came from abroad, and, she organized some events, some musical events, and many people. She met many people, and, the whole incident, the whole controversy. And in our country, those people who were working abroad, some tourists as well as some our Indians, NRIs, they brought with them this coronavirus. But now what we are finding is, in few places, people have started discriminating them. See, we have to understand this thing, as I told you, this all articles are connected with each other. We have to understand that these people are unfortunate people, right? Some of them, those who have escaped, or those who have, they have played this trick, taking paracetamol and escaping this thermal test. Then those people, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about those unfortunate people who got this coronavirus, who are infected by this virus. And unfortunately, the nature of this virus is that it spreads it infects other people as well. So we should not discriminate them. We should help them, and basically they should also come out, and they should inform the authorities. So they have to play the responsibility. And let me throw some more light on this one. Let me cover up this article as well now. So here, if you go through this article, welcome then stigmatized now. So we have in our country Kerala. Kerala state is famous for tourism, isn't it? And this article is talking about incidents of few incidents that took place in Kerala, like an Italian-French couple was not provided any shelter, was not given any accommodation by any hotels in Kerala, because after this news started spreading, coronavirus news in early days I'm talking about. Then we have one example of British group affected by coronavirus. Now they have been accommodated in a hotel by government, but they were trying to leave the country, and they were going to heading towards Dubai, but they were checked at airport, and then one of the person was affected by this coronavirus, so this whole flight was delayed and things happened, and now they were shifted to this hotel. And then we have other incidents, like a lady from Venezuela. She was not given any food. She was not served food by restaurants and hotels. So this sort of things are not good. Discrimination. If this discrimination is brewing, then this is not helpful, because after this coronavirus will die one day, hopefully in near future. Let's hope. But tourists, we all are tourists. Means at present we are here, but in future you will travel to some place. Maybe after a few months, or maybe next year, right? For pleasure, for religious purpose, for buying something. You travel to different places. So discrimination is not going to help us. This is something that we have to understand. So basically, we have gone through so many articles now. Now let's talk about this Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020. Now it will be called Tokyo 2021, right? This Olympic event is postponed, and this is the first time we are witnessing a postpone of this. These events are delayed because of this sort of coronavirus that is going on. Now, this is not the first, means as far as postponing an event is concerned, this is the first time. But if we go back in the past, in the history of this Olympic, then we find that 1916 event was cancelled, 1940, 1944 events were cancelled as well because of this World War. This was the time of World War I, and these 2 years were of World War II. During Cold War, United States and its allies boycotted Moscow Games in 1980, and after 4 years in 1984 Olympic Games at Los Angeles, it was skipped by USSR and Eastern blocs. The most heartrending is this Munich Massacre of 1972. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this incident, but it's a very famous incident where this Black September, a Palestinian terrorist group, they killed 11 members of Israel's squad. And a very famous film is also out there, Munich. If you have time, you might have some extra time because you are in this lockdown, isn't it? So please, if you have time, then go through this interesting film called Munich. It's about this whole incident and how Mossad took this revenge and things. And we have one question as well for you. Who is the president of the International Olympic Committee? Who is the current president, right? Stick your answer in the comment section. Now, one thing that we have to understand is this economical as well as financial losses. As you know that so many games, IPL and other games are postponed and football games are cancelled. Olympic game is also delayed. So this investment, the money that you have invested, or various different investment in players and investment in so many things, will face losses. And I still remember 2012 Olympic Games. I used to live in UK at that point of time, and I remember that after this recession of 2008, things were not that good. It was getting there slowly. UK was getting there slowly, but 2012 Olympic was considered as a big thing. It was it was seen as a ray of hope for UK's economy, because people from around the world will they used to come in UK and hotels were full and so many things. So same thing was going on with Japan as well. Japan was going through some rough times, but now unfortunately there is nothing that we can do. The whole world is going to face this thing, economical crisis. An eye each on containment and welfare. COVID-19 pandemic, it has affected 204 countries, region and territories. First case in India, 30th January, and in Tamil Nadu, 7th March 2020. Now this article is written by Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, so he's talking about the things that his government has done. It's very interesting to know this thing that there are so many governments, the state governments of our country, they announced a lockdown earlier on than the central government. On 24th March, the legislative assembly, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister declared a lockdown, and in that evening we came to know about our country's lockdown. It was declared by Prime Minister Modi ji, and country is going to be in lockdown till 14th April 2020. Around 43,537 people are under home quarantine in Tamil Nadu, and they have also been given medical advice and counseling, video, conference, but with the help of this video calling, they are being monitored and they are being given counseling and other things, and they are being kept under like a sort of surveillance as well. Government of Tamil Nadu has created in Chennai itself. They have 500 beds and 10 crore has been given. Total 17,000 beds in isolation wards are available. 3,018 ventilated facilities are available. Government has released some 3,280 crores package. Rice card holders will be given rice, sugar, dal, edible oil, everything for free with 1,000 rupees cash. And this 1,000 cash will be given to payment vendors as well. Migrant workers will get the same thing, equal measures, equal amount of commodities will be given to migrant laborers, and they are being provided with shelter facilities in various different community and marriage halls. And nutritious cooked food is also provided to them. Moving on to last item, the cost of a cure for COVID-19. Now, World Health Organization has declared COVID-19 as a pandemic. US Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has declared it as an orphan disease or a rare disease. Which of these statements is true? Both of them. Under this Orphan Drug Act of 1983, companies are provided incentives to develop therapies or medicines for this rare disease. The main reason is that if you don't provide incentives, then you have a very limited amount of patients after so a company will not make any profit. You spend huge amount of money on R&D, and if your target audience is just 50,000 or 10,000 or less than that, then that's not going to be a profitable affair for you. So USA government provides money incentives to these companies, and one of the incentive is that you get 7 years of market exclusivity. So you are the only one, the producer is the only one who can produce and sell these drugs. Others can make it, but only after paying heavy license fee to this producer. So these are the incentives that are given. Now there is a company called Gilead. Now Gilead is working on this, this remdesivir, and it was given this extra support by US government. But now this Gilead has said that we don't need that extra support, and they have said that they are going to provide drug accessible, and they are going to make this drug accessible and affordable around the globe. But Gilead has said this sort of statements early on as well for other diseases, but in reality it has made huge amount of profit, and this orphan drugs or this rare disease medicines are very, very expensive, very, very expensive. So what will happen if a country's, let's say American company comes out with a drug of coronavirus? What can we do about it? The thing is, in our country we have section 92 of this Patents Act, and if there are certain challenging circumstances, then without license as well, we can allow other companies to produce that medicine. Even if that medicine is produced by a company of USA, we can allow this formula to be used by manufacturers without permission, so that they can produce this medicine. And this is only for certain circumstances, and at present we are going through a very challenging circumstances. So if there will be any medicine, right, then of course government of India is going to use this section 92 of this Patent Act, and we will go ahead with this mass manufacturing of this medicine. We have never used this provision before, but we should, if we have to in near future. If we have to, then we should freely use this provision. Treat migrants humanely has been said by Supreme Court to officials. Very I think that is quite understandable. 3 quasi-subspecies of virus in circulation has been said by ICMR. There can be 3 subspecies of SARS-CoV-2 in our country in circulation. Government cuts interest rates on NSC and PPF, that is National Savings Certificates and Public Provident Fund. It has been chopped by 1.4%, and generally interest rates for small savings schemes are notified on a quarterly basis. Now, if you have this infographic here, I want you guys to download the PDF of today's lecture and go through it once, right? It will give you about the latest updates. And this 2 medicines combination will be allowed has been given green signal by Health Ministry. Doctors suspect community transmission in Indore. That's a matter of concern. If community transmission starts, then that is a worst thing. Spain reports record 849 deaths in India. Iran reports 141 deaths, rising total to 2,898. USA death toll crosses 3,500. Indonesia declares a state of emergency, and a negative, I would say, or a controversial news is coming out that export of medical items to Serbia triggers a debate, right? Despite reported shortfalls of necessary items for medical professionals, India exported a major consignment during the weekend. So I'm sure this is not going to be taken that well. And anyway, that's everything in today's discussion, dear friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. And please stick your answer in the comment section. Stay safe, stay positive, right? Don't worry about worrying too much, or don't worry, I would say, right? Make this formula, no worries, live in today and make the most out of your present moment as well as today, right? So I'll see you soon with the daily financial news analysis. God bless you all. Jai Hind.